Hello, Namaste. This is Bindu Kumar from Data Academy, and I welcome you to this short video on OLTP and OLAP systems. First of all, I really wanted to thank all of you for your kind and encouraging comments. They really mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. If you're working in a data warehousing project, you have probably heard of OLTP and OLAP, or you'll soon hear about it. An organization typically has dozens of applications that are used to support the business. Some of these applications are used to run the business, whereas some of them are used to measure the business itself. These applications can be of various technologies, such as a website, a database, or even a simple Excel file. We like to categorize these applications into either an OLTP application or an OLAP application. OLTP stands for Online Transaction Processing System. An application is said to be of the type OLTP if it satisfies the below criteria. First, it's critical for day-to-day business operations. Without it, the business will come to a halt. Second, it demands high performance. Third, it is usually built for a very specific purpose and does not deviate from that. Fourth, it mostly generates data on its own. OLAP stands for Online Analytical Processing. An application is said to be of the type OLAP if it satisfies these below criteria. First, it's not so critical for day-to-day business operations, which means business can still operate even if the OLAP system were not to be available temporarily. Second, the users demand high flexibility from an OLAP application over high performance. Third, an OLAP application usually is multi-purpose in nature when it comes to the way the application is used. Fourth, an OLAP application usually consumes data from other systems, mostly OLTP applications. Given an application, how do we identify if this application is an OLTP or an OLAP application? We have to evaluate the application against these criteria to see if it's an OLTP or an OLAP. Let's take supermarket as an example of a business. Every supermarket has one or more point of sale, which is managed by a cashier. The cashier uses the point of sale application to generate the bill for the products that are being purchased. So the point of sale is an application that is used to run the business. Hence, it is an OLTP system. But can we really match it against all the criteria of the OLTP system? Let's find out. Is the point of sale application critical to the business? Yes, it is. If this application is non-functional, then there are no sales. If there are no sales, then there is no business for the supermarket. Hence, the point of sale application is a critical application to the business. Second, does it demand high performance? Yes. When you want to generate a bill, the bill has to be generated with as less latency as possible, or in other words, it has to be generated immediately. Hence, the point of sale application demands very high performance. Third, is it built for a very specific need? Absolutely. You can only use the point of sale to generate sales related activities, right? Such as generating a bill, generating a receipt, and so on. You cannot do anything else. Hence, it is built for a very specific purpose. And fourth, does it generate its own data? Yes, every time a bill is generated, new data is captured within the system. Hence, it generates its own data. So now we can say that the point of sale is an OLTP application. Now let's see an example of a OLAP system within the same supermarket organization. Let's consider a sales dashboard used by the manager of the supermarket. A sales dashboard shows vital information such as the total profit, the top 3 products, and other important KPIs. A dashboard like this is a good example of an OLAP application. But how is that exactly? Let's find out. Let's see if the dashboard meets the criteria of an OLAP application. Is it critical to running the business? Not entirely. Sales can still happen even if the dashboard is not available for a few hours or maybe even a few days. Hence, it is non-critical to the business operations. Second, does it demand high performance? Well, not always. It does not have to be real time, However, it demands high flexibility. Is it built for multi-purpose use? Absolutely. A dashboard, while displaying sales-related metrics, may also display metrics related to marketing, product inventory, customer feedback, and more. Does it generate its own data? Not at all. It mostly consumes data from other applications, including OLTP applications like point of sale. So with this, we can say that a sales dashboard is a good example of an OLAP application. Let me summarize the difference between OLTP and OLAP. And OLTP systems are typically business critical and are very much necessary for the day-to-day running of business operations. Whereas OLAP systems are not business critical but are very important to measuring the business itself. Hence, the system design that goes into building an OLTP system and an OLAP system are very different. We will now take another example to summarize the differences between OLTP and OLAP. Consider a car's dashboard. A car's dashboard shows many useful information in the form of gauges. Let's pretend that each of this gauge is either an OLTP or an OLAP system. Can you help me categorize each one of them? Let's start with the speedometer. A speedometer is a gauge that shows the current speed of the car. Is it an OLTP or is it an OLAP? If you guessed OLTP, then you're right. The speedometer shows you the current speed that helps you in driving the car within a safe range of speed and prevents overspeeding. If the speedometer stops working, then it's not safe to drive the car anymore. Do notice that the speedometer only shows the current speed and not the history. Hence, it is a very much an OLTP system. Next, the distance to empty. This is a gauge that shows the total miles or kilometers that you can cover before your car runs out of fuel. Is it an OLTP or is it an OLAP? If you guessed OLAP, you're right. This gauge measures your average speed and also the amount of fuel remaining in the fuel tank. It then calculates the distance you can cover. It's a simple calculation yet very helpful in being aware of your driving efficiency. Do notice that this gauge uses historical data to forecast. If this gauge stops working temporarily, it won't cause any harm to the actual driving itself. Hence, it is an OLAP system. Next, the odometer. The odometer is a gauge that shows the total miles you have covered in your car. What do you think it is? OLAP or OLTP? If you guessed the odometer to be OLTP, you would be wrong. It is OLAP because it stores historical information and it doesn't necessarily help you in your current driving situation. It does help, however, in identifying when you need to service your car. It measures your driving but doesn't help in the actual driving itself. Even if this gauge fails, there is no real impact on the driving. Hence, it is an OLAP. Now here is a categorization of few other gauges in the car. Go ahead and think about categorizing other gauges that I may have missed listing here. This brings us to the end of this video. I want to quickly summarize what we have discussed. The different applications in an organization can be broadly categorized into OLTP and OLAP applications. OLTP systems are systems that are generally used to run the business, while OLAP systems are systems that are used to measure the business. Given their different needs, they also follow different architecture. If you still have any questions, leave a question in the comment section below or reach out to me at reachbindukumar@gmail.com. Let me know what you think of this video in the comment section. I will soon be uploading another video where we will discuss the differences in database design between OLTP and OLAP systems So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified. Thanks for watching. Hi there. Hope you're finding my videos useful. I often spend hours on preparation and recording of a single video. If you really like the content, please remember to like the video, share it with your friends, and also remember to subscribe to my channel. Thank you and see you soon.